So in my house where I rent, I have a little area where I keep a couple of CDs. They kind of get forgotten about because the real place that I keep my CDs are at my parents' place. So I think we should go and just check out my crazy collection. I will warn you, it's really messy and you can get dangerously sucked in. Let's go. So the thing is, I'm really big on CDs. I love the physical copy of having the artist that you love in your hand. You pop it into a CD player. I know that's a dying age, but I still love it. I love it. I mean, it's like people still buying vinyls. I mean, it's just because there's something nostalgic about that. Speaking of nostalgia, we're talking about my favorite 90s songs. We'll just take a little tour back to my parents' place and have a look at my massive CD collection. It's just so that we can just have a little bit of like a trip down memory lane. We're here. I'm at my parents' place now. Hi, Dad. So we're gonna go into my room. Sorry, don't mind me. I might have just... It's a nectarine. So this is my old room. Woohoo! Yay, listen, look at that. This is my CD collection. There are a lot of CDs, like all the way in there, down there, over there. Oh my God, it's so much mess. But if you have a look, let's have a look. We've got to part the sea. Part the CDs. Nirvana in there, Beastie Boys, got some Parliament, Eminem, got some Bob Dylan, Deep Forest, Jeff Buckley, Fugees, Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, some Christina Aguilera in there, Peter Andre, anyone? We've even got like old school Britney Spears in there because, you know, why not? Old school Britney Spears is great. She had a great voice back then before she went like that and started singing like that. She even got a lisp. Hey MJ. So these are my CDs. Welcome to my CD collection. It's abundant. So I've just come back from my parents' house and all I came back with is an avocado. Despite loving all those CDs, I need to protect them rather than use them. Besides, everything's about digital now, right? But we're gonna go through some of my favorite 90s hits. When I think about my favorite 90s songs, it's really hard to narrow down. I love this many 90s songs. I mean, the list just keeps going. I mean, look, it just keeps going. But we're gonna go through 10 of my favorite 90s songs. This is in no particular order, because I can't possibly put any of these in a particular order. And some of them are 90s hits, some of them aren't. Some of them are B-side records.
And if you're a real 90s baby, then you'll know what I mean when I say B-side records. Holla for cassette tapes! Yay!
But the reason why I choose them is because to this day, they still influence me. Whether they are an influencer for my music, the way that I sing, or a pick-me-up song that I know no matter what, if I hear this song, I'm gonna feel so much better. That's what these 90s songs mean to me. So let's get started. I suppose it goes without saying that Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana is one of the best rock songs of our time. I mean, when we talk about a subculture that just grew out of music in the 90s, I would say that grunge was a big predominant part of that subculture, with Nirvana being at the forefront. Smells Like Teen Spirit is a song that I heard so many times as a kid. I didn't know who they really were though, because I was a bit young. I just didn't really know them that well until I was a lot older. But that's one of the songs that I hear and I'm like, you're taken back. Yo, I tell you what I want, what I really, really want. I mean, hello? Do I really need to tell you who I always played as a kid? Big hair. I don't know who your favorite Spice Girl was, but mine was most certainly Ginger. Say You'll Be There. Who Do You Think You Are? Spice Up Your Life. Mama. Move Over. Yeah, like all those Spice Girl songs were #1 hits for a reason. Every time I listen to these songs again, I hear that music and I really listen to it now. I'm trying to think about music and pop music and what was selling at that time. You listen to it and the arrangement, the production on these songs, really well thought out songs. It's not just a bunch of girls being like, ah, got power, got power. They were really well planned and thought out, and they are typically what the pop music industry was at that time. Unfinished Sympathy by Massive Attack has always resonated with me. From the percussive beat to that sort of haunting, wailing voice of the lead singer, and the whole trip hop that they created was something that just like hit my heart a lot. There was something about those strings in the background, the atmosphere. It was about the atmosphere, and that's what I think Massive Attack does really well. They attack the atmosphere of a track, and they create this soundscape where you just get lost within beats and sounds, and that's a huge influence on my own work now. Bjork was one of those women that I didn't really get as a kid, but yet I loved her music. My dad would often pick me up from school, and on the way home, I remember him putting in the CD, and it was by Bjork, and it was particularly the album Homogenic. I was enamored. But in those days, her sound is what the sound is now. Like, she was so far ahead of her time, and to this day I still reference her tracks on that album as being influences in my own tracks. Hunter being one of her main tracks, it's like cyber, techno, electronica, and yet mysterious, and her voice is haunting in it, and you really get, kind of like Massive Attack, a real sense of an atmosphere, mystery, and ethereal atmosphere in her work. If I could meet Bjork one day, holy moly, I don't even Bjork is up there along with Michael Jackson. People who know me that I love Michael Jackson beyond anything. So if Bjork is getting close, like hitting it, I mean, that means I totally respect everything she does. Speaking of the king of pop, Dangerous, the album Dangerous by Michael Jackson, and even his other album History were significant in my growing up years, especially with Dangerous. Jam is an amazing song on Michael Jackson's Dangerous album. That is such a 90s pop tune at its best. And not a lot of people know about it unless you're a true Michael Jackson fan. I was absolutely in love with Michael Jackson. If you know me, you know I am in love with Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson and his team made music that was uplifting. You just felt your heart lift, and that's why he was so popular. There's a reason why he is called the king of pop. You can't deny that. He made good music. Under the Bridge goes without saying. A very haunting song by Red Hot Chili Peppers. Like Nirvana, I had always heard these songs by this band, but I didn't know who they were. You know, I was a bit young to really totally grasp what was going on in that sort of dark world. I was a kid. I'm not supposed to. But yet I always heard, like, Smells Like Teen Spirit. I'd hear Under the Bridge, always in the background on radio, kept playing constantly, and that was something that really stuck, that song. I mean, Frusciante's riff at the beginning, it's iconic. They have a lot of great songs, but that's still their best song. Jump Around by House of Pain. No matter what, this is a song that just gets me going. It just gets me in the mood to party. And it's so 90s. Just broken record that just repeats itself. I think I first discovered this song when I was watching Mrs. Doubtfire with Robin Williams. In that scene in Mrs. Doubtfire when Robin Williams' character is like dancing with his son on the table while they're throwing like this massive party right at the beginning of the film. And I heard that song as a kid and I was like, yeah. Backstreet's Back. Alright! I freaking love this track. This track is one of those other ones like Wannabe, like Jump Around. That just gets me. In dance class, I remember learning a dance to it, and I just felt like the coolest person ever. Like before NSYNC brought out Dirty Pop, Backstreet Boys brought out Everybody Backstreet's Back. Like that is one sick song. And their video clip to match was just like, and it was just so thriller-esque. And if I recall rightly, I think I might have even read somewhere that when they were recording that song, they were thinking, think Michael Jackson. And I remember when I was little as well, am I sexual? The little kid in me was like, oh, I'm saying the word sexual. That song is one of those happy songs. It was like a dance floor filler. And to this day remains a dance floor filler because of so many memories attached to it. All right, here's a little lesson for you. Melisma is vocal gymnastics. So think Mariah, think Whitney, think Ariana Grande. They all do those little things where it goes, you know what I'm saying? That's what vocal melisma is. And for me, my first true experience of vocal melisma was SWV Right Here. That's a song that's just really groovy. They sample Michael Jackson's Human Nature. They know that na na. But those sort of girl groups like En Vogue, SWV, TLC, that sang true R&B, pop, and their voices are just spectacular. My dad introduced me to that style of singing, and it was where I first branched out with my voice. Be right here. It's just so, and it's such a 90s song. Like, it's just, it's perfect. I could go on forever. There's just so many songs in the 90s that I have listened to over and over and over again. There's a couple of special mentions, honorable mentions that haven't quite made it into my top 10. I reckon this list is probably going to change. I reckon this list will change like within the next day. I'm going to do a shout out to Glory Box by Portishead, Janet Jackson, That's the Way Love Goes. Oh god, there's Gangsta's Paradise by Coolio, Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey, When You Believe, Pony, Bittersweet Symphony, Creep, Radiohead, It's Oh So Quiet by Bjork, another one by Bjork, Honey by Moby, Freedom by George Michael, You Ought to Know, Ironic, Anything by Alanis Morissette, Would I Lie by Charles and Eddie, No Diggity, Time of Your Life, Green Day, Last Goodbye, Jeff Buckley, Shoop, Salt and Pepper, Insane in the Membrane, Cypress Hill, Breathe, Prodigy, I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston, Vogue, Madonna, I'm Just a Girl by No Doubt. A special honorable mention goes to the man of this song, Show No Mercy. Look up Show No Mercy. It's by someone who I might happen to know really well. Okay, I have a lot of honorable mentions, and clearly I'm not going to get through them all. One final song that means a hell of a lot to me in the 90s is a song by Prince, Cream. This is one of those songs that as a kid I would listen to and be like, but Prince has just this knack of making songs that's really damn sexy with his voice. I was a big fan of Diamonds and Pearls, the album by Prince, which was his big hit in the 90s. Another one my father brought up. So, oh my gosh, I reckon I'm hot from this. It's a big deal to try and narrow down the songs that mean a lot to me from the 90s. I'm very passionate about 90s songs. It's nostalgia for me. It's my memories. I want to know what you used to listen to as a kid on repeat, or tell me a story about a song from the 90s that resonated with you right up until this day. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment below, click subscribe. Anyway, have a great week, and I'll catch you later. Bye.